Okay, we're good. Go ahead.
Okay. I'd like to call to order the Town of Ledger Town Council Community Relations Committee regular meeting for September 1st, 2021. Call to order. I want to note that, bear with me. I want to note that Councilor Soms is here, Councilor Andre is here, Ingalls is here, excuse me, Councilor McGrattan is here, Councilor Evans is here. For the record, the administrative assistant Roxanne Marr is here. Chief Saccone is here. Director of Emergency Services is here, Steve Holyfield, and also the Chief of Fire Chief Jim Mann is here. And there's a Zach Willis, but I'm not sure who that is.
Todd Willis.
Zach Willis, I'm captain of the Ledger Fire Company.
Okay.
Yeah, Mike, and I'm Fire Marshal Jim Mann, Emergency Management Director. I'm not no fire chief guy anymore.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Fire chief retired.
Oh. Okay. That being said, we have opportunity for citizen comments. Are there any citizen comments? Not seeing any. Informational items. Are there? Does any of the councilors have any informational items?
No.
Perfect. Want to go through real quick, review and approve of the minutes for the regular meeting minutes of May 19, 2021, and the public information form minutes of June 2nd, 2021. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Councilor Soms.
Moved by Councilor Soms. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I need to have it.
You keep-
I like your enthusiasm. I'm waiting for Councilor Ingalls.
She was on. I don't know if she's having an audio problem.
I don't
Looks
know
like
if I
she's
can.
calling in now.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Now you're echoing. Let me delete this one. See if I
Are you
can-
all set?
I think you're in
On
twice.
the-
So let me see if I can delete this one.
I think she called in. Oh, no, that can't be.
Oh, she called in and she's, yeah, she called. Andre, you called in, right?
Can
They
you,
got her on the screen.
okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. All right, I apologize. Roxanne, I had to chuckle out loud when I got your emails today about the slow internet in the town because I had the same issue when on rainy days, my home internet is terrible.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, it wasn't really down. It was iCompass. It was the portal that was the problem. So
Okay,
anyway, okay. Do you want to second the minutes?
I do. I tried like 5 times to second those minutes, but nobody heard me. So,
Okay.
Councilor Ingalls, second.
Thank you, Councilor Ingalls. All in favor? Aye. Councilor Washington?
Aye,
Hi, Councilor Soms.
Thank
aye,
you.
Councilor Ingalls.
3 in favor, no opposed. Going to move right into old business. We wanted to have a update regarding the incoming community workshops and schedules. We have the fire department, emergency services here. And this time I'd like to turn it over to the emergency services. I'm not sure, Chief Mann or Chief Saccone, who wants to go first?
All right, well, what are we looking for? So this is my first meeting.
Nope, all what the plan is, we want to do just as a little background, the idea is to do a community workshop, and it's really a public informational, so that we could explain to the citizens of the town the services that are provided by the 2 fire departments and the emergency services in general for the town, how the process kind of works, and so it gives the members of the town an opportunity to understand just who to contact, if a particular service is needed, and just have a general understanding of services that are provided by the emergency services within the town.
So Mike, this is Jim. Didn't we used to do something? It's been a few years where We would have people come in. It was an informational thing. They'd like show up to Gales Ferry Fire or Ledger Fire. And the fire chief or me or Tony would sit there and say, hey, this is what we do. And kind of get, an open house, and this is a service we provide, and whatnot. Kind of the same thing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just, it would be on the monitor. That's the only
Hey, Mike.
difference.
We generally did open houses in October to coincide with the fire service stand down in October, or just
Fire Prevention Month.
Yeah, it's Fire Prevention Month as well. So that's what we generally do it. And some of the things we would discuss is present to the community that we're about 90% volunteer, backed up by career firefighters, town employees. The services we do are medical fire, and as well as anything that has to do with an emergency, except for police matters. But to go along with that, I think this time we need to highlight the need and the downturn of the volunteer side of volunteering. So our numbers are starting to dwindle, both sides of town. We got a good core of officers, but during this Fire Prevention Week open house, that should be one of the things that the town could help us out with in getting the word out that your services needed to your town. Please help.
Well, kind of the idea here is, say on the 15th, if you could present kind of on a digital forum like this, that discussion, which would be a prelude, which I think would be a great prelude to the October open house. I don't. It may be doing it twice, but
Mike, I have a question. Oh, Steve Holyfield has his hand up. I'll defer to you, Mr. Holyfield.
So I admittedly, I saw your bullet point request fairly late when I noticed that, but I did come up with something real quick, and I did send it to you, Councilor Wash.
yes, and that was really nice. And so this didn't go out to sorry, I thought this had gone out to everybody. Let me see something. Bear with me for a moment here. Well, I'm gonna send this to, just bear with me 1 second, please. I'm gonna send this to Roxanne. Just bear with me 1 second, please.
In the meantime, gentlemen, are you planning on doing the open house this year?
We had no talk about it at Gales Ferry at this time. It's not too late.
I think that was part of that program, and Mary could tell you more about it, but it was the Know Your Town program that they've done twice.
Right.
And so there was opportunities for residents to visit all the various departments within the town, and they were all scheduled for different weeks. And Mary could probably elaborate a little bit more, but I think that's what they were referring to about the open house. But this is similar to that, in that it's making people aware of what services the town provides without people having to go out to those facilities, because it's being done via the Zoom through the Community Relations Committee. I don't know if that helps.
To follow up on what Roxanne said, I thought it was important that the townspeople should meet the people who provide the services and meet the people at the place where they provide the services. So that's where Jim Mann, I remember at the Legend Center Firehouse, you did a demo on the ambulance and on a lot of safety features, and it was very well received.
And you know what's interesting about that? Because I technically don't have jurisdiction over 1 or 2 family homes, but I told them, hey, if you invite me in, I can look for things. And you know what? I got into more single family homes than probably any fire marshal in the state of Connecticut, because I had about 25 people come back. And it was kind of neat. We walked through, we looked at plug strips, looked at this, looked at that, loose receptacles. And people are really very receptive for that. It was great.
Are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Given the fact that in October, both fire departments do a presentation. I'm directing this out to the committee, the counselors in the committee. Would it be appropriate then for really to have this done at the committee, at the firehouse, since they're already gonna do that, versus the good thing about doing it on Zoom, okay, because there's gonna be a lot of people who cannot get to the firehouse, and this gets recorded. So by doing a presentation that would be just a discussion about what you do for the fire services, it's something that would be online and available to the residents in the town who aren't able to go to the open houses. And so that's
Right.
So
My concern is this, is we've had very low attendance at
yes,
the Zoom information meetings. People were super interested in what Chief Rich had to share. And other than that, the informational sessions have been very poorly attended. However, I've been to the open house at the firehouses and they're very well attended. They do a knockout job. I'm not confident that honestly our Zoom informational is going to add anything to their public communication. Now, to your point about recording it and having it available, that's true. Roxanne, is there any way to know if the recordings are viewed at a later date?
I don't think so. I can check with Regina to see if, there's anything that tracks how many times they've been viewed. But I can check on that.
well,
If I may, I know with the COVID thing going on with the variants, people are paranoid, but like tonight I was out doing condos and I was surprised how many, because I got to do those, these are all multifamily, how many people, oh, come on in. And we're doing things. And in the firehouses, there are ways, because it's such a big area, that we could do a presentation and still observe the COVID protocols. And I still say the people that are interested would show up.
That being said, would it be more advantageous then to spend to kind of promote the October event, say for our September, and see if we can do something with I'm not sure what we can do to promote it. Maybe talk with the mayor to see what they can do on their side to promote it. But that may be the best way, because granted it's more of a hands-on type of situation. Since you guys already have something scheduled for October, and is alluding to what Councilor Ingalls said, the showing, it hasn't been that great. So not wasting too much energy and effort on doing something digitally, and just direct efforts to put a notice like for our meeting that at the end of this meeting, and we're going to talk about rescheduling some of our other meetings, doing something, just putting a notice out to people that there's something going on at the firehouse on a particular day.
I think you have to remember that one of the things that you have going for you is that both fire companies have a very large social media following. And so in terms of outreach, I think your best outreach is the community forum and the Ledyard and Gales Ferry web Facebook pages. So in order to get the message out, I think you're going to have more luck doing that than the town council meeting. Let's face it, we don't have a lot of people dialing into the regular town council meeting. It's generally those that have business, and you guys rarely see anybody that just comes in as a taxpayer just to see what's going on with town government, unless it's pretty much one of my Boy Scouts that has to sit through a meeting and, report back to me. You don't get a lot of attendance unless somebody has a vested interest. However, with social media and with the idea behind the October fire prevention, I think that's your bang for your buck right there. And that maybe even we have some sort of videography going through and doing like a little tour through some of the stations. I know normally we'll do like a fire prevention, maybe an extrication demo, a tour of the firehouse and the fire trucks. And maybe we come up with something from a videography standpoint where we can get somebody there with a decent video camera to maybe film a message from each of the fire chiefs, include a little bit of a demonstration, and then talk about recruitment and retention, and get that out to the community. And that might be your best way, because now you can, as the community relations committee, as the town council, as Ledyard and Gales Ferry, you can share that message, and it's a consistent message that's already pre-recorded. And instead of it being a Zoom meeting, which let's face it, we're all Zoom meetinged out at this point from the last year and a half of COVID and the amount of Zoom meetings we've had. But you could blitz that out and use that as almost a promotional type thing. I agree 100% with what Chief Saccone said, that we are dwindling in volunteers. We're not in a panic level yet because we have some very dedicated folks, but that would be a huge thing if we could pick up 5 members for each department that go on and become firefighters and EMTs. And then, drivers and all the other needs that we have, that's a fairly small number in a community that has as many people as we do, but it's tapping those right people and getting them to come out and to help our emergency services.
I think that makes a lot of sense. Also, people will come out to see fire trucks. They may not come out for a Zoom meeting, but they'll come out
Correct.
to trucks.
And I think part of your thing that you had mentioned before, right? Everybody was very excited to see what Chief Rich had to share, and kind of the advent of this committee goes back to issues that the community had, or maybe the discussions and dialogues that the community needed to have with the policing side of it. So I think there was a vested interest to have that dialogue with the police department. And I think what you're seeing is the dwindling out of some of the other things. And I think the committee idea is great, and I think the community relations is a great idea, but I think part of this committee being formed was in response to that and an attempt to improve things. And that may have been the hot topic, and it might not necessarily be all the other agencies in town. But I also applaud you guys for trying to bolster what the community, what the town offers, and fill everybody in. I think that's a noble effort to have that communication.
And also, Councilor Washington, just to clarify, we do not have anything scheduled for October. The annual October recognition of firefighter fire prevention week is just an annual countrywide stand down or recognition of fire prevention. We did not schedule anything yet. However, we can, if we can move forward with what we're talking about tonight, we could quickly, as a fire companies, get it moving. And we'd be more than welcome to opening up our fire station.
So this is directed to the counselors. Would we be in agreement that it would be a better choice to have the fire companies put something on at the firehouse and do outreach through like our different pages and such to get the word out there that there's going to be kind of I won't call it informational, but it is an informational. It's the services and what the fire departments do and the needs of the fire department and how people in the town can assist them. Would that be a better service, a better situation than doing the Zoom? It would appear to me.
I think so. Yes, Councilor
I
Psalms.
believe so.
Okay,
Yeah.
then with that, thank you, Councilor Psalms. Thank you, Councilor Ingalls. Then with that in mind, I'm going to ask both the chiefs and Steve Holyfield and the fire marshal. Can you guys put something together? Let us know what it's your schedule. Let us know what works for you guys. If you can do something in October, or even when you could do something. It's really at your convenience. If that's something you guys are up for doing.
We could bring it forward to the fire companies as a whole, sure.
Okay, that'd be greatly
No, I can do
appreciated.
something.
And get back to us. Get back to
Yeah, and we can get
Roxanne,
the
get back to
ambulance
me.
on board as well.
Yep,
Okay.
that's very important. Yep.
Extremely.
Especially
And the ambulance will do community outreach. I need to give them a little notification so that their ops director can prep the crew or have the right crew there available for the day, or have somebody there that can speak for them.
Could I
Could you do
leave it to you guys to put together a date that works for? I don't know if you want. Would this be all on the same day or like a day in succession? How would that? How have you done it in the past? If you've done something of this nature.
The fire prevention week this week is October 3rd through the October 9th. So anywhere in between them.
Yeah, I'd recommend breaking it up a little bit so that way people can float around. Actually, that might not be a bad idea.
I have the same question. I think if you have it 2 different nights, some
Yeah.
people will be interested in seeing both firehouses and the
Right.
equipment. And you've got the issue of personnel for you, Jim, and for Steve, and for American Ambulance. You're splitting up you'd have to be in 2 places at once if you did it the same night.
No, I concur. That's why I asked. Yep. So would one of you like to take the lead to get back to the council on the dates for your particular
I'll bring it
group?
up to the fire company for Gales Ferry, but that's all I can do there.
Yep.
And now it's
I could-
only, if we do it that week, it's only a month away.
Yeah.
Still can
I'm-
happen.
Yeah,
I
I'm
can
very,
filter it back through everybody if you'd like.
yeah, and I'm very flexible. I can pretty much respond to anything.
Okay. Well, with that said, I'll look forward to hearing back from everybody when you're able to give us some additional information on the date, if it's possible for your particular firehouse to pull this off.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Well, I know we're
right.
pretty efficient. Well, thank you, gentlemen. I think that rounds up what we have here. Do you have any questions for the committee?
Does everybody ready for the big rinse tonight?
Let's hope not.
Oh, God, I'm hoping it goes north. Not, oh. Oh, here we go.
Okay, we're gonna move on because I know one of the counselors has a scheduled event. So thank you, gentlemen, for attending. I have to cut you short. We look forward to hearing back from you guys.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks,
Sounds
guys.
good. Have a good night.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Good
Thank you.
night.
Next topic is an update regarding options to engage a facilitator to take part in conversation regarding cultural competency and social justice. I talked to, my understanding is there's something going on with CIRMA that may be related to this. And I'm not a firm believer of spending money until I know I have to. So this may not be something that even hits our desk. So at this point, that's just going to be tabled indefinitely till figure out what the the Council of Governments and whatever CIRMA is going to do. They're putting together some kind of plan. So that's just going to get tabled out. I think as far as number 3, continue to review and discuss objectives and goals. I think we've hit our goals now with this last item. If we can pull off the firehouse and the emergency services, I think that'll put a fork in it. Our goal was to hit all the services that the town has for the most part. I know there's some stuff for next year with if that's the route that the committee decides to go. But I think we need this committee was, as someone had said earlier, was generated due to activities that were going around with the police department. So we can have some discussions on where do we go from here for what this committee does. I don't know if do any of the members have any comment or suggestion on that topic? I know the Zoom meetings have not been very effective. I know the biggest thing that drove us here was the police department, and potentially maybe doing something a little bit different with this committee because it's going to have served its purpose for the most part at this point. And most likely there won't, for what we're tasked with, we have met that task, in my opinion.
So, Mr. Chair, just taking a step back to the facilitator, I have 2 additional names. So when we get to the point that we want to discuss a facilitator, if we decide we want to consider and talk to a facilitator, I have 2 additional names, and I'll just leave that for that future discussion.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Soms. Now, one more topic.
Now, in the interest of time, since Councilor Soms has to skedaddle here in a couple of minutes, should we just move on to new business?
Yes, thank you.
Great.
And new business, talking about the motion, looking for a motion to advise Community Relations Committee to meet once a month, and it would be on the 15th. It'd be the third Wednesday of the month, which would put it on the 15th of September. I lost my sheet here. Trying to do this quickly. Sorry.
I have September 15, October 20, November 17, December 15, and January 19 of 2022.
Correct.
I'll make that as a motion.
Motion by Soms. Do I have a second?
Councilor Ingalls seconds.
Councilor Ingalls seconds. Time for a vote. Councilor Soms.
Aye.
Councilor Soms votes aye. Councilor Ingalls.
Aye.
Counselor Ingalls votes aye. Counselor Washington votes aye. Motion passed. We now have a new calendar. Roxanne, just please make those adjustments for our calendar. Is there any other new business to come before the committee? Seeing none, it is now 7:57. Is there a motion? 7:56? Oh, sorry, 6:56. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Moved by Psalms. Do I have a second?
Second,
Second by Ingalls.
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes 3-4. Thank you. We are now adjourned without exception. Thank you, everybody, and have a
Thank-
great day and stay dry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good night, everybody.
Good
Good
night, all.
night.
Watch out for